What's up guys, today I'm going to be teaching you all about the different kinds of weapon combos and quick switching tech that I've learned throughout all of my hours playing Doom Eternal. Before we get started, I want to mention the importance of key binds. You're going to want to optimize your binds based on your playstyle. What kind of weapons do you like switching between? What combos are your favorite? If you don't really have like a background in that yet and you're not really sure what kind of combos you're most comfortable with or what combos you find the most fun to use, then that's alright because you're going to be learning all about them in this video. But if you do already have some experience and you're still kind of struggling, it might be because your binds aren't optimized towards your playstyle. Maybe it's difficult for you to move while you're doing your quick swaps because your binds are kind of chopped. Or maybe you have trouble shooting different types of frag grenades while you're switching and while you're jumping in the air and just going crazy. All of that is going to come down to what your key binds are. That's what's going to be holding you back. So I'll just give a few of my binds, for example, and I'll have them in the description as well. So caps lock is my heavy cannon and mouse 4 is my rocket, because these are really easy buttons for me to reach, and I know that I'm going to love spamming PB rocket. So it's a really easy combo for me to perform, and all of my movement keys, literally all of them are free. W, A, S, and D, all of those are free because I'm using my pinky for caps, and I'm using my thumb for mouse 4. So everything is an option, except for the dash. But that's not a problem, because I'm just going to be in the air anyway. But if you really love to dash, you don't like staying in the air for whatever reason, maybe you just enjoy the challenge, it's just your playstyle or whatever, you're going to want to have different binds that let you dash instead. It's just all personal preference. How do you like to play? And that's what you're going to base your binds off. Alright, so now that we got that out of the way, let's get straight to the swaps. So the most basic one that most of you guys are probably familiar with are the precision bolt swaps. So we got PB rocket, PB ballista, PB sticky, PB SSG, and we even got PB. We'll talk about that a little later. So starting with PB rocket, I'm going to teach you the inputs for this combo, and then the rest are going to translate to every other combo. Starting with the precision bolt, you're going to want a quick scope, just like that. So it's just going to be right mouse, and then as soon as you hit right mouse, sort of like a rolling action from right to left, you're going to want to fire your PB. You don't even have to scope in all the way for it to fire. This is slow. You don't have to do this. As soon as you hit right mouse, you could hit left mouse. And once you fired that precision bolt, you switch to the rocket. Instantly. From there, you can hold mouse 1 or left mouse so that you fire a rocket immediately. So let's back up a bit. You quick scope and you switch to the rocket. Okay. Once you're comfortable doing that, you stay holding left mouse and you immediately fire a rocket. And once you fire that rocket, start back at the top, switch your precision bolt. And you just go back and forth from there. And once you get a rhythm for it, it becomes really easy. Using the same logic that we use, same inputs that we use for the PB rocket, we're going to do the same thing, except instead of rocketing, I'm going to be using the ballista. Quick scope, as soon as you fire, switch to the ballista. If you're holding down mouse 1, the ballista will fire immediately. And then as soon as you fire that ballista, you switch back to the precision bolt. Same thing pretty much. Now this combo's pretty hard hitting, but it's also a little slow. Just a little. But it's great for weak points, and it's great for long range as well. Up next we got the PB and SSG. This is a great combo for like close quarters. It's going to be the same inputs as the other combos. Simple stuff. And the last of the precision bolt swaps, we have the sticky bombs. So this one is a little different in the sense that you could hold down right mouse the entire time. So you could stay scoped in. That way, when you fire this, you already have your sticky bombs primed and ready to fire. And it's going to be the same exact thing. As soon as you fire, you switch. As soon as you fire, you switch. And you know, always aim for headshots. I know there is a strange, I believe Sylar discovered that there is a sort of inconsistency with sticky bomb crits and how they're registered. So it might make it sort of an inconsistent combo, whether or not you're getting that additional damage. But if you are getting that additional damage, it is a higher DPS combo than the PB rocket. But if you're not, it's still a great combo because it's cheap splash damage. The stickies don't cost as much as rockets. And it still does good damage. Another thing I want to mention is that you could replace the precision bolt for micro missiles in all of these combos. Now, I'm not sure why you would want to do that, but for all my micro missiles enjoyers out there, it's an option. Up next, we have the Slob combo, also known as the Sylar Lock-On Burst. So this is what it looks like. It's just a fast lock-on burst, pretty much. Very useful, very high DPS, and this is how you perform it. You're going to want to start with your basic PB rocket, just like that. But as soon as you fire that rocket, I want you to let go of mouse 1, and instead hold right click. And you'll notice the barrel of the rocket will wind up immediately. Just like that. Now you can tell when you did it wrong. There you go, because the barrel winds up really late. There's like a delay there. But if you do it correctly, and you hit the mod button right after you fire and you let go of the fire button, it will wind up quickly, and from there you could just let it rip. So yeah, just to reiterate, regular PB, but as soon as you fire, let go of mouse 1, hold the mod button, and if you see that quick wind up, you know you did it right, and you could just spam the fire input. Now before we get to the punch swaps, I wanted to mention the mod swap cancel. Let's say you want to shoot a ballista shot or an SSG shot after you've hit a slob or something. Without this mod swap cancel tech, this is what that would look like. It's pretty slow. So what's going on there is, as soon as I'm firing that lock-on burst, I'm hitting the mod key, which for me is F. And then I'm swapping to my weapon of choice, super shotgun, ballista, whichever one. This tech has other uses, like you could swap faster between these two weapons here. But I mean, I don't know, that's kind of like a troll combo, really. The bindings for that combo are kind of awkward for me, so I don't really use that. And it is a bit faster than just the standard rocket ballista. Yeah. Alright, and finally we have the punch swaps. So the majority of these are pretty brain dead easy to do, with the exception of the rocket and the stickies. Those require a bit more finesse, especially the rockets. We'll get to that. So let's start with the super shotgun. All you have to do is hold mouse 1, the fire button, and just spam your punch and super shotgun inputs. You could even get blood punches in between there, making it a killer close quarter combo. But it's not really something that I use a lot because, again, the bindings are kind of weird for me. I just can't really move while I'm doing this. But you know, if there's a combo you want to use, that's where your binds come in. And it's going to be the same thing with the ballista. Shoot, punch, swap to the same weapon, and you can just mash those inputs. And this combo is actually the one that I used on the Pain Elemental in my Heavy Demon combo video. Because all you have to do is hit a Pain Elemental 3 times with this, and it'll put them into a glory kill state. If you're interested in combos for Heavy Demons, I recommend checking that one out. Alright, so up next, this one's kind of a troll combo, but this is what it is. Actually kind of useful early game, but past that, it's just not that serious. Still pretty funny though. The way you're going to want to do this is you're going to want to ADS the entire time. Fire, punch, heavy cannon. I actually find that this one's easier to perform when you're not button mashing. Like, this is me button mashing right now. It's just, you know, kind of all over the place. For whatever reason, this one just works better if you're taking your time with the inputs, making sure that you got the right rhythm. Fire, punch, caps, fire, punch, caps. That's my heavy cannon bind. Fire, punch, caps, fire, punch, caps, fire, punch, caps. It has its uses, but not a necessary combo by any means. Up next, we got these sticky bombs. Now, this is where it gets different from the other combos. With everything else, we've been going back to the weapon that we just fired. So every time we shoot that SSG, we're going back to the SSG. Every time we shoot the ballista, we go back to the ballista. But for this combo, you don't actually have to go back to the combat shotgun. You just have to punch and then fire again. It's like a regular PB sticky combo. As soon as you fire it, you punch and then you just shoot again. You're supposed to be holding right mouse the entire time. And that's how you perform that combo. Now finally, we have the coveted rocket punch swap combo. For this one, you're going to want to be really precise with your inputs. So what I did for this is I was actually working with another YouTuber by the name of Zazman, and he helped me figure out how to execute this combo correctly. And in order to do that, I actually had to make some changes in my keybinds. We're going to start with this. It's a regular PB rocket, except now punch is double bound to E and down on the mouse wheel. Not scrolling down, just pressing down. And you'll see why in a moment. And rocket has now been double bound to scroll up and mouse 4. So for my regular PB rocket at the beginning, I'm using mouse 4. But for the rest of the combo, for that rhythm focus portion, I'm going to be using the scroll wheel to use my rocket. And down on the middle mouse for the punch. With that in mind, what we're now doing is regular PB rocket. As soon as that rocket fires, I'm pressing down and I'm scrolling back up. That's what that first rep looks like. Just like that. And now once you're able to do that comfortably enough, and it's going to be awkward. For some of you, it might take like an hour. For others, it might take a couple days. It took me a couple days. I still don't have it down exactly because I've been kind of slacking on the practice. But that's all it takes, really, just practice. So once you got that first rep down, you pretty much got it. From there, after you bring that rocket back up, you can fire again. First rep and then I fire. So this sequence can be broken up into 3 different parts. Fire that rocket, down on the wheel, and rolling forward. So it's a very fluid motion once you kind of get into the rhythm of it. One thing that you could do to make this easier on yourself is pay attention to when the rocket animation kind of comes up. When the rocket comes up, that's when you start the sequence. So as soon as I'm seeing that rocket come up, I'm firing, I'm punching, and I'm rolling. And from that point on, you just keep practicing it. Eventually you'll be able to chain a million back to back. Now, if you don't want to do that with your binds, that's understandable. But for this combo specific, I highly recommend using these binds. And I'll go through the inputs one more time. So it's a regular PB rocket. As soon as you fire that rocket, down on the mouse, roll up to get the rocket back, and then fire. And then you could use the animation of the rocket coming up for reference to know when you should fire. As soon as I'm seeing that rocket come back up, I'm firing, and then I'm initiating that punch and roll sequence. And once you get it down, it'll be so much easier to pull off because it's just such a repeatable movement pattern for your fingers to sort of memorize, and you won't have to think about it. I'm still getting there, but yeah, all it takes is time and practice. So yeah, that concludes today's video. If you learned something new, I'd appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. More Doom Eternal guided content is coming soon, so stay tuned for that whenever it drops. Thank you for watching.